My name is Pratik Goyal from NIT Raipur IT department and I'll be speaking about Ghatotkach and fossil carbon.
My name is Priyanshu Pandey from NIT Raipur IT department and I will be discussing about the subtopic green carbon.
My name is Sneha. I am from IT branch first semester. I would like to tell about carbon cycle.
My name is Khati and I am from IT branch in NIT Raipur and today I will discuss about fossil fuels.
My name is Prashant. I am from NIT Raipur and today I will be discussing the impacts of heating and cooling devices on carbon footprint.
I am Nevaan from IT branch of NIT Raipur and I will be speaking on impacts of heating and cooling on the environment.
And we are Team Ghatotkach.
Today, we stand before you as Team Ghatotkach, named after one of the most formidable and fascinating characters from the Mahabharata. Ghatotkach, the son of Bhim and a half demon, symbolizes strength, resilience and sacrifice. But what does this ancient warrior have to teach us in our modern world? Ghatotkach is not just a tale from mythology but a mirror to powerful traits we all possess. Let's explore how can we channel his attributes in our everyday lives. First, loyalty. Standing by those we care about, Ghatotkach exemplifies the power of loyalty. Despite his demonic origins, he never wavered in his loyalty to his father, Bhim and Pandavas. He was willing to sacrifice for everything for them. Loyalty is one of the most valuable traits in human relationships, whether in our personal or professional lives. True loyalty builds trust, creates deep bonds, and fuels a sense of belonging. Like Ghatotkach, when we stand by our loved ones and colleagues in time of need, we create unshakable foundations. Second, fearlessness. Ghatotkach was fearless in battle, known for his bravery. His heritage as part of demon makes him a fearless attitude and intimidating presence. A fearless person who confronts challenges head on and inspires courage in others shows this side of Ghatotkach's personality. Third, sense of duty. Trait in Ghatotkach. Despite his demon heritage, Ghatotkach followed a sense of dharma or duty, particularly to his family and to the cause of Pandavas. A person with strong sense of purpose, duty and moral compass who stands by what they believe even in difficult times matches Ghatotkach's sense of responsibility. Ghatotkach is often portrayed as larger than life character, symbolizing the introspection of raw strength and deep emotional loyalty, making him a fascinating match for anyone with similarly bold, sacrificial and resilient traits. 1. Ghatotkach, the mighty warrior from the Mahabharata. Relating carbon footprint to him might seem unconventional, but let's explore a creative connection. Ghatotkach, known for his immense strength and size, can be seen as the symbol of massive impact human activities have on the environment. Just as Ghatotkach's footsteps shake the earth, our carbon footprint stomps on the planet, leaving a lasting impact. Here are some creative ways to relate Ghatotkach to carbon footprint. First, giant steps, giant impact. Just as Ghatotkach strides cover great distance, our display choices like transportation, energy consumption have far-reaching effects on the environment. Strength and responsibility. Ghatotkach's incredible power comes with great responsibility. Similarly, our actions through seemingly small collectively contribute to climate change. Third, a giant shadow. Ghatotkach's massive shadow can be seen as a metaphor for the carbon footprint we cast on the planet. Our actions create a lasting impact, just like his shadow. Fourth, balancing strength and sustainability. Ghatotkach's strength is balanced by his wisdom and consideration. We too must balance our needs with sustainable practice to reduce our carbon footprint. By relating Ghatotkach to carbon footprint, we can creatively engage with environmental issues and inspire others to take actions. Just as Ghatotkach's legend inspires us to be mindful of our actions, we can strive to reduce our carbon footprint and protect the planet for future generations. Our team also resembles the Ghatotkach's above qualities.
The term climate change carries a lot of emotions: guilt, anger, frustration, fear, but rarely any feelings of hope or accomplishment, or never any pride. Of course, it doesn't. We are bombarded every day with images that seems to have only one conclusion: we are all just screwed. We are screwed, and there is nothing lot that we can do about it. Scientists are telling us that we are ruining the planet. You and I are ruining the planet every day by just living our lives. They're saying we are to blame, but it's so hard to see anything we can do to change that. I mean, I guess that there are obvious things that we can live without: electricity or heat or ride a bicycle everywhere. But if everyone did that most things in our society, it have to change in any ways. And where to even start? Feels pretty hopeless. But I have been working in this field for 10 years, and I'm here to tell you that it's not hopeless. We have the power to stop the climate change. You and I do right now. I'm not talking about changing light bulbs or buying more efficient refrigerator. I mean actually stopping climate change. We have the power. We have just lost the sight of it. We need a new paradigm. We need a new perspective that shows exactly what we can do to fight climate change. That's going to take some work to get there. We're gonna dig through some science. You'll know how to cut your carbon footprint by 60% today. Our new perspective has included sustainable practices that significantly cut greenhouse gas emissions. Key strategies include reducing energy consumption by using renewable energy sources, improving home insulation, and switching to energy efficient appliances. Transportation changes like using public transit, cycling, or driving electric vehicles can also help. Additionally, cutting down on meat consumption, especially beef, and opting for a plant-based diet can make a large impact. Reducing waste through recycling, composting, and buying fewer products with higher carbon footprint also plays a crucial role. By integrating these actions into daily life, individuals can contribute meaningfully to global carbon reduction goals. It's this balance that's so important. Carbon dioxide is not inherently bad, but too much of it, especially from human activities like burning fossil fuels, can disrupt the delicate balance of our atmosphere. When CO2 levels rise too high, the greenhouse effect intensifies, leading to global warming and the myriad environmental challenges we face today, such as rising sea levels, extreme weather patterns, and shifts in ecosystem. So while carbon dioxide is necessary for life, managing its levels is crucial to ensuring that we maintain a climate that can continue to support the diversity of life on Earth. But even more than that, we need a carbon dioxide because we need something that's called the carbon cycle.
Important, but even more than that, we need carbon dioxide because it's something called the carbon cycle. Now the carbon cycle is the beating heart of our planet on geologic timescales. The carbon cycle is what sets the Earth's temperature like a thermostat. It balances the air and the rocks and oceans and determines how hot it's going to get. Here, but on a day-to-day timescales, the carbon cycle is what allows complex life forms like us to exist in the first place. We wouldn't be here without the carbon cycle, and it all depends on carbon dioxide. And that's the same carbon dioxide that you are breathing right now, because we breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, and plants do the opposite way. They breathe oxygen, they breathe carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen, and that's crucial. because plants are actually building themselves molecule by molecule. Out of carbon dioxide in the air and the energy of the sun, plants are literally made of air and sunlight. You can see this happening in your home. Every day, every one of your house plants is making itself molecule by molecule out of the energy coming through your windows and air in your home. If they were making themselves out of the soil in their pots, the soil would disappear as they grow, but that doesn't happen because plants are made of air and sunlight. They're the start of a carbon cycle, and then it goes like this. First, green plants capture carbon from the atmosphere and the energy of the sun. Then animals eat those plants to take that carbon and energy, because animals are made out of carbon and energy of the sun. They just take it from plants. Then other animals eat those animals on up the food chain till eventually an animal does not get eaten, dies naturally, and then decomposition releases its carbon back into the atmosphere. To start the cycle all over again, decomposition is what balances the carbon cycle and makes sure that the carbon that goes in comes back out again on other side, and that it all forms a closed loop, just circulating the carbon from one side to the other. There's a cycle like this that happen in the oceans. There's a cycle this that happen in the soil. All this carbon I call green carbon. The carbon cycle is crucial for regulating Earth's climate and supporting life. However, human activities like burning fossil fuels and deforestation have disturbed the balance, the carbon cycle, leading to increased CO2 levels and climate change. Here are some ways to help balance the carbon cycle. Use renewable energy sources, increase energy efficiency, protect and reforest, promote suitable land use, support carbon capture and storage technologies. Remember, every small action counts and collective efforts can make a significant difference in fighting climate change.
Green carbon is the carbon that's supposed to be here. It's the carbon of living things. It's the carbon of carbon cycle. It's the carbon of our climate. Green carbon does not cause climate change because it can't cause climate change. It already is our climate. It's already a part of our thermostat. Fossil carbon is what causes climate change. And now climate change is a huge issue. There are all sorts of contributing factors, but this is the big one. One, fossil carbon is the main cause of climate change. If we can stop releasing fossil carbon, we can turn the tide of climate change. And in order to do that, we need to understand it. We need to know about its origin. And so we need to go back in time, any number of places in the Earth's history, but we are gonna go back and visit the dinosaurs. And the first thing we notice when we get there is that there's whole lot of more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This is late Jurassic period, and there's 7 times as much CO2 in the atmosphere. The Earth today, it was hot, but the carbon cycle operated just the way that ours does. First, green plants capture carbon from the atmosphere and the energy of the sun. Then animals eat those plants to take that carbon and energy. Then other animals eat those plants on up the food chain until eventually an animal does not get eaten, dies naturally, and then decomposition releases his carbon back into the atmosphere. Start the cycle all over again. At least that's how it was supposed to happen. There was a problem. decomposition stopped working very well. Like decomposition needs oxygen in order to function correctly. It's the great recyclers would make sure that what goes in come back out of the carbon cycle again, but under the right circumstances, swamps and shallow seas, and so carbon drained out of the carbon cycle. It formed huge reservoirs of undecomposed organic material full of carbon and energy. The carbon cycle was off balance. Eventually circumstances would change and the carbon cycle would right itself again. But there was less carbon to go around, and so the carbon cycle had to evolve to a world of less carbon, and that takes about 100,000 years. In the meantime, of the carbon in the reservoirs slowly sank into the earth, where heat and pressures transformed it into coal, oil and natural gas. Understanding this process is vital. When we extract and burn fossil fuels, we are not just releasing carbon, we are unleashing a legacy of stored carbon that has the potential to radically alter Earth's climate. The excess fossil carbon in the atmosphere is driving unprecedented changes in weather patterns, sea levels, and ecosystems. Now, as we face the urgent challenge of climate change, we can have a unique opportunity to restore balance to the carbon cycle. By halting fossil carbon emissions and investing in renewable energy sources, we can protect the natural processes that can sustain green carbon. It's about creating a sustainable future, one that embraces the cyclical nature of our planet while respecting its limits. In this ongoing struggle, understanding our history is crucial. It guides our actions today and informs our vision for future where green carbon thrives and fossil carbon is left safely in the ground. By learning from the past, we can forge a path toward a sustainable relationship with our planet, ensuring a healthy climate for generations to welcome. Understanding this process is vital. When we extract and burn fossil fuels, we are not just releasing carbon, we are unleashing a legacy of stored carbon that has the potential to radically alter Earth's climate. The excess fossil carbon in the atmosphere is driving unprecedented changes in weather patterns, sea levels, and ecosystems. Now, as we face the urgent challenge of climate change, we can have a unique opportunity to restore balance to the carbon cycle. By halting fossil carbon emissions and investing in renewable energy sources, we can protect the natural processes that can sustain green carbon. It's about creating a sustainable future, one that embraces the cyclical nature of our planet while respecting its limits. In this ongoing struggle, understanding our history is crucial. It guides our actions today and informs our vision for future where green carbon thrives and fossil carbon is left safely in the ground. By learning from the past, we can forge a path toward a sustainable relationship with our planet, ensuring a healthy climate for generations to welcome.
This is our fossil carbon. Fossil carbon is the carbon of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels only burn because the energy stored in carbon molecules by million-year-old plants. Basically, fossil fuel is million-year-old sunlight. Now the heat and pressure underground concentrated that sunlight, so it's really potent and it burns really well. That's why we like it so much. But when we release that energy and burn that fuel, we also release the fossil carbon that contains it. And that's the problem. Because if we come back to our earth today, we'll see that our carbon cycle is balanced the way that it is. The amount of carbon that goes into the carbon cycle comes back out again. It's all a closed loop. So when we burn fossil fuels and release all of their fossil carbon, it goes up into the atmosphere and has nowhere to go. It can't just join into the carbon cycle again because the carbon cycle is a closed loop. It can only take in so much carbon, and so instead it stays in our atmosphere. Where done naturally increases the greenhouse effect, acidifies our oceans and causes climate change. This is the causes of climate change. Now eventually 100,000 years from now also our carbon cycle will also adapt to all of this new carbon. But in the meantime we are screwed. We are burning millionaire-old sunlight by the barrel everywhere on Earth. We just love this stuff. The truth is, we are gonna run out. Even if climate change were a hoax, if our society is going to survive, we have to switch away from fossil carbon and fossil fuels because we are gonna run out. Climate change is just forcing our hands. And so what are our options? What can we choose instead of millionaire-old sunlight? Well, there's the heat in the center of our planet and it's difficult to access and occasionally unstable. There's our newfound ability to release atomic energy, but the byproducts are deadly and last for hundreds of thousands of years themselves. There's the moon's gravity pull creating ocean tides. There's a little energy and spinning of the earth and in gravity. And there's sunlight, that's it. Those are our 6 options, theory. If our society is going to survive, we have to switch to these options. We don't have a choice, and of them all, sunlight offers by far the most energy. We can use it directly as solar radiation. We can use it indirectly as wind or waves. Or we can use the energy stored in carbon molecules by green plants. Because green plants are the original solar panels. They are what traps the energy in fossil fuels to begin with, millions of years ago. And the only reason we moved away from the green plants is because the energy and fossil fuels is concentrated underground. But we don't need them anymore. Today, just about anything that we make out of fossil carbon, we can make it out of green carbon instead. And when we do that, it can't cause climate change because it's already a part of the climate. It's already a part of our atmosphere. The plastic bag that's made out of petroleum out of oil. Millions of years ago, this was partially decomposed gum at the bottom of the sea. This is a plastic bag. It's made out of plants that were alive just a little while ago. They are both plastic. The difference is the source, and it's all about the source. Because this one causes climate change and this one doesn't. And you have the power to choose. You don't have to choose fossil fuels and fossil carbon. And when you don't, you can cut out your carbon footprint ingredient. In 3 steps, you can cut your carbon footprint by 60% just by not choosing this because we don't need it anymore.
Step 1 is the easiest. It's your electricity. Right now, you can sign up an alternative energy provider that will generate all of your electricity without releasing fossil carbon. Wherever you live, whatever your circumstances is, if you get an electric bill, you can sign up with an alternative energy. Today, might be solar, it might be wind, it might be something else, but just this one step will cut your carbon footprint by 15%. By comparison, changing all of the LED bulbs at your home, it will cut your carbon footprint by 2/10 of 1%. It's a big difference now. Can be hard to know what your options are. Step 2. Heating and cooling at your home. Heating and cooling systems use more energy than anything else in a commercial building. In the US, 42% of home's energy used in a commercial building is linked to heating and cooling devices. but we already have a head start on this because most heating and cooling devices, most AC units, most heat pumps, most farm coolers already run on electricity, and we have taken care of our electricity, and all that's left is heating our home in winter. And likewise, if you have an electric pump, electric baseboard heating or electric space heaters, you have taken care of that as well. So you have cut your carbon footprint by 32% already. That's almost a third base here. But here's where it gets interesting. What if you don't have an electric heat well? Anything that you can use to heat your home that releases green carbon instead of fossil carbon will not cause climate change. So if your furnace runs on heating oil, you can go down to biodiesel distributor. There's one less than 10 miles from where I'm standing and get a carbon product called bioheat. Bioheat refers to a thermal energy generated from biological processes, particularly from the use of biomass for heating purposes. This energy source is a part of broader category of renewable energy and is often considered more environmental friendly compared to fossil fuels. Key aspects of bioheat. First, biosources. Common sources include wood petals, agriculture residues, and organic waste. These materials can be used directly for heating or converted into biofuels. Heating systems. Bioheat can be produced using various systems such as biomass, bioboilers, pellet stoves, and combined heat and power systems. These systems burn biomass to generate heat, which can be used for residential, commercial, industrial purposes. Although there are few challenges with bioheat, such as air quality. While burning biomass can be cleaner than fossil fuels, it can still produce particulate matter and other emissions if not managed properly. Source availability. The sustainability of biomass as a fuel source depends on availability of feedstocks and competition with other land uses. In summary, bioheat is a promising renewable source of energy. If managed sustainably, can contribute to reducing our carbon footprint and enhance energy security. Bioheat made of green carbon, it does not cause any climate change even if you burn it in your furnace, or you can burn wood. Wood is made of green carbon, it does not cause any climate change either. If it's sourced sustainably, now wood or biomass is maybe the most contentious issue, and climate change today is sustainable. If you plant the seeds, let it grow, and then cut down the tree. We can't go into our forest and cut down forests because that's disastrous for our climate. We need to replant our forest, but would this harvested sustainability as crop is a great source of climate friendly fuel. It won't cause climate change even if you see smoke coming out of your chimney, because it's not about the smoke, it's about the source of the carbon.
The carbon footprint of cooling as global temperature rise and population grow. The demand for air conditioning and refrigerator increases, contributing to a significant rise in greenhouse gas emissions. If we do not take proactive steps to address the energy and environmental cost of cooling, we may find ourselves worsening the problem we have. Trying to alleviate climate change, let's start by understanding the relationship between cooling and carbon emissions. Air conditioners, refrigerators, and other cooling systems consume large amounts of electricity. In many parts of the world, this electricity is still generated by burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gases. This process releases carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, contributing to global warming. In fact, according to the International Energy Agency, the energy demand for cooling, one of the fastest growing uses of energy in buildings worldwide. As more countries experience extreme heat waves, the demand for cooling continues to surge. Moreover, cooling systems often leak refrigerants, which are potent greenhouse gases themselves, HFCs. The common refrigerant commonly used in air conditioners and refrigerators can trap thousands of times more heat in the atmosphere than CO2. So while cooling systems help maintain comfort and preserve food, they inadvertently contribute to a warmer planet. Now that we understand the link between cooling and our carbon footprint, the question is, what can we do to reduce it? Improve energy efficiency. One of the most effective ways to reduce cooling related emissions is by improving the energy efficiency of cooling systems. This can be achieved by investing in newer, more efficient appliances and adopting stricter energy standards for manufacturers. Energy efficient air conditioners and refrigerators use less electricity to achieve the same level of cooling, which means fewer emissions. Shift to renewable energy sources. Using renewable energy sources such as solar or wind power to run cooling systems is a game changer. By reducing our reliance on fossil fuels, we significantly cut down to the emissions associated with cooling. Many countries and companies are investing in renewable energy to power their grids, and this will shift a huge impact on reducing the carbon footprints of cooling. Use natural refrigerants. Another important step is to transition from HFCs to natural refrigerants like ammonia, propane and carbon dioxide. These refrigerants have a much lower global warming potential than HFCs, and in some cases they are entirely climate neutral. A global agreement to phase down HFCs is an important step in this direction. We need to accelerate its implementation. Design for passive cooling. Building design plays a key role in reducing the need for artificial cooling. We should encourage the construction of energy efficient buildings that utilize natural ventilation, shading and insulation to keep spaces cool without relying heavily on air. Urban planning should also promote spaces which can cool down cities naturally by reducing the heat island effect. Encourage behavioral changes. Last but not the least, individual action matters. Simple habits such as setting air conditioner to higher temperatures, using fans to circulate air, and turning off cooling system when not in use can make a big difference. By making small changes in how we use cooling, we can reduce both energy consumption and emissions. In conclusion, the increasing demand for cooling presents a serious challenge to our climate goals, but it also provides an opportunity to innovate, create more sustainable solutions. By adopting energy efficient technologies, embracing renewable energy, switching to low impact refrigerants, and promoting smart building designs, we can mitigate the environmental impact of cooling. It is up to all of us, governments, business, and individuals to play our part in reducing the carbon footprint of cooling and contributing to a healthier, cooler planet. Thank you. As we wrap up our journey towards a more sustainable future, remember that every small action counts, whether it is biking to work, reducing waste, or supporting renewable energy. Each step you take contributes to a healthier planet. Together, we can create a ripple effect of positive change. Share your progress with family, friends, inspire others, and let's build a community committed to reducing our carbon footprint. Thank you for listening to the team Ghatotkach. Let's take this knowledge and turn it into action. The earth is in our hands and together we can make a difference. At last, we would like to thank Dr. Anup Tiwari sir for giving us opportunity to let us speak on such an important topic.